Solis, we have District Director Antonio Chapa. The order of speakers will be Sheriff Luna, United States Marshal Chief Inspector Sanchez, Chief Moore, and closing District Director Antonio Chapa. Now it is my honor to present the Sheriff of Los Angeles County, Robert Luna.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming in to cover this story. Before walking down here and just getting my final brief before addressing all of you in our community, it's been a while before you get briefed on a case that everybody who's briefing you is just so troubled by the information they're passing on. And I think most of you have been following this case. Although I thought of many other adjectives to describe this suspect, I'm just going to say he was a horrible deviant. I am absolutely amazed and impressed with the work that was done to capture this individual, because he needed to be off the streets. And although our partners will be talking about our individual efforts, it is very critical to understand the importance of teamwork that occurred here between the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, and the U.S. Marshal's Office that was an integral part of apprehending this suspect. But I will continuously through this brag about the work of our units, specifically from the East Los Angeles station. They did an absolute amazing job. When I talked to the detectives, their commitment to apprehending this individual, specifically after these heinous crimes that he committed, I just can't say enough about their work. So on July the 15th of 2023 at 06:13 hours, East Los Angeles Station deputies were dispatched to a call of an elderly woman who had just been assaulted. The victim was a female Hispanic, 67 years of age. The incident occurred on the 1000 block of Fraser Avenue in East Los Angeles. Within 72 hours, the East Los Angeles Station detectives were working with LAPD detectives regarding two similar cases which they were investigating, and obtained a possible suspect information. On July 18th, the suspect was identified in the original case out of the East Los Angeles station. A public safety flyer was distributed to local media outlets as detectives were serving search warrants at possible locations where they believe the suspect may have been. While investigating the case, detectives discovered a second possible case involving the same suspect. The victim was a female Hispanic, 84 years of age, who was assaulted and robbed of her car keys in the 5200 block of Via Corona Street in East Los Angeles. The incident also occurred, or this incident also occurred on July 15th of 2023 at approximately 0650 hours, or basically 10 minutes to 7 in the morning. Detectives from the East Los Angeles station were able to identify suspect Garcia in that case as well. And if I haven't said it, and I may not have, the person that was arrested for these crimes is Sergio Garcia. He's a male Hispanic, 21 years of age. The suspect returned on July 16th, 2023 at approximately 3:45 in the morning and took the victim's vehicle from where he stole the keys that previous day of the incident I just named. Suspect Garcia ultimately crashed that vehicle on July 16th, 2023 at approximately 8:50 in the morning near the 10 freeway and Western Avenue. A third victim came forward after seeing the wanted flyer that was on the local news channel. So I applaud all of you for putting out these flyers that really helped us. That crime occurred on July 10th at 6:45 in the morning in the 1200 block of South Woods Avenue, again in East Los Angeles. The victim in that case was a female Hispanic, 55 years of age, who was also assaulted by the suspect. Detectives were able to identify suspect Garcia as the suspect in that case as well. East Los Angeles Station detectives began working with detectives from the Sheriff's Department's Operation Safe Streets Bureau in an attempt to locate the suspect. Information was developed, and it indicated shortly after that he committed these crimes, the suspect had fled to Mexico. East Los Angeles Station detectives met with Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, and all 3 cases were filed against the suspect. Operation Safe Street Bureau detectives coordinated with agents from the United States Marshals Pacific Southwest Regional Fugitive Task Force. Information was developed of the suspect's possible whereabouts in Mexico. On July 25th, 2023, at approximately 4:30 in the afternoon, suspect Garcia was located in Tijuana, Mexico. Utilizing resources in Mexico, suspect Garcia was arrested without incident and returned here to the United States. He was then transported to Los Angeles County, where he was booked at the East Los Angeles Station. Suspect Garcia is facing the following charges: attempted murder, robbery, assault with intent to commit rape, penetration with a foreign object stemming from the 3 cases. His bail is currently set at $4,060,000. Additionally, East LA Station detectives learned of a 4th victim. The incident occurred on July 15th at approximately 6 in the morning in the 5000 block of Whittier Boulevard, again in East Los Angeles. Suspect Garcia carjacked a vehicle with a female Hispanic, 33 years of age, inside of that vehicle. Only after driving it a short distance, he exited the vehicle and fled, and shortly after committed an assault on Via Corona. So as you can see, this individual, very troubling individual, was out there on a crime spree for a while. And before I turn it over to the next speaker, I want to make sure that I make this very clear. We believe there may be additional victims out there. And for one reason or another, they have maybe chose not to call the police yet. We encourage you that if you have any information, that if you are a victim, no matter what language you speak, if it's Spanish, because it's in that East Los Angeles area, we have many people who speak Spanish here, and we really, really would like to hear from you. If you can, please call 1-800-222-8477. That is the WeTip line, or Crime Stoppers, I should say. So with that, I will introduce our next speaker, U.S. Marshal or Chief Inspector Frankie Sanchez. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Again, my name is Frankie Sanchez. I'm the Assistant Chief Inspector, the U.S. Marshal Service. I want to reiterate what the Sheriff had mentioned with regards to the partnerships, the importance of the partnerships between the federal, state, and local governments. It's paramount. With these partnerships, we come and we work collectively, and we're able to take down fugitives such as Sergio Garcia. The Marshal Service has a very unique ability when it comes to hunting fugitives. And they not only hunt fugitives here domestically, but they hunt fugitives internationally, in this case specifically in Mexico. When we found out about this case, we immediately contacted our Mexico Foreign Field Office, who works hand in hand with the Mexican government. This information was turned over to the Mexican government. They were able to locate and detain the suspect in Mexico. He was subsequently deported back to the United States via the San Ysidro Port of Entry and taken into custody by U.S. Marshals and the LA Sheriff's Department. That's it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank Sheriff Luna for hosting this. I also want to share my appreciation to Frankie Sanchez as the Chief Marshal and the U.S. Marshal Service for their work in apprehending this vicious assailant. When the sheriff discussed a series of sexual assaults and crimes that we believe Mr. Garcia is responsible or directly responsible for, his cases actually, and instances of attacks on others, actually precedes those dates of July 15th. But we also believe, as the sheriff has indicated, that his pattern of life, Mr. Garcia, that we've likely only identified a small sampling of his activities. Beginning on this 10th of July, and I think the media, you'll understand why I have that belief and why our investigators share that belief once I share the information of this series of events. On the 10th of July of this year, in the area of Olympic and LA Live, the downtown area, at approximately 8:35 in the morning, a female Hispanic, approximately 31 years of age, was walking on Olympic Boulevard. When she observed an individual we later was identified as Mr. Garcia, he was walking behind her, and he caused the victim to feel uneasy and uncertain. So she actually stopped to allow him to walk by, and he took some actions as to feign that he's tying his shoe, getting himself again close to her, and then, without any further actions, grabbed her, took her to the ground, and attempted to sexually assault her. She was able to fight and struggle and escape him, and he fled that area. Now, this was on the 10th at about 8:35 in the morning. On the 11th, the following day, we had an initial incident in the area of Chick-Hearns in Georgia, which is, for those of you aware of the LA Live area, that's an immediate vicinity. There at about 10:45 in the morning, a female black, 22 years of age, was walking when she was slapped on the lower back and sexually assaulted by a person we've now identified as Mr. Garcia. He fled, he was on a bicycle, and he left the area. These two instances, when we looked at the description and the proximity to each other, we believed were responsible. I'm proud of the work of Central detectives as they began working with surveillance cameras and other sources of information to get imagery together to try to solve this crime. On the 15th, a few days later, in Rampart, which is just north of the downtown area, we had at 9:20 in the morning, which is, again, after the event that Sheriff Luna just spoke to on the 15th at 6 o'clock in the morning in East LA, at 9:20 in the 1300 block of South Alvarado, there we believe that Mr. Garcia robbed a 51-year-old female Hispanic in that robbery. In that robbery attack, she lost consciousness, suffered bruises and abrasions, and while she will survive, it was a violent assault. Minutes later, at the 1300 block of South Burlington Avenue, this same individual, we believed, approached a 58-year-old female Hispanic and sexually assaulted her. Again, both these instances, Mr. Garcia has been tentatively identified as the person responsible. Rampart detectives, again, in the same manner of Central detectives, did the investigative workup, on-scene canvas, gathering of physical and photographic evidence, and as they pulled that together and began looking into the region, discovered the relationship with activities that were occurring in East LA. And as the sheriff indicated, as the U.S. Marshal indicated, as a leader of a law enforcement agency of our size, many times as agencies in the past, we've been accused of working in silos and working our cases and pursuing those. That did not occur here. While our events began on the 10th to the 15th and then continued in the LA Sheriff's territory in the aftermath of that, our detectives working with our senior leads and other investigative resources at the area level supported the Sheriff's Department in their collective work. They shared that information back and forth. And then Commander Carranza, having awareness and work with the U.S. Marshals in her previous assignment and their fugitive task force, reached out. And the Marshal's office do what they do best, and that is they sprung a net. They put it out there with all their sources, which are which are tenfold more than ours as far as their reach across not just this region, but across the United States and into international locations. And with that, collectively, this team was able to identify, apprehend, and bring this person for his first step of justice, which is to face the criminal justice system for the vicious attacks. But let me close by saying the Los Angeles Police Department, as I know the Sheriff's Department, we're not done. This person did not start this spree on the 10th of July. And we're convinced that as the media has published information about this through flyers and imagery that we put out, and individuals have stepped up to say, I have been a victim, that we likely anticipate many more. So it is important to us, and it's also important to the survivors and to the families of violence that this man may have committed, to step forward and work with the Los Angeles Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, any police officer that you feel comfortable with in any manner, for us to allow us to investigate these any attack or circumstance of being victimized by this individual or others, to bring you some small measure of justice by identifying the individual and bringing him back. Again, I'll close by saying that the work of these teams together, the men and women of our respective organizations, we couldn't be prouder of. They've demonstrated that they protect and they will serve, and will do so with a great deal of diligence and with boundless energy. Thank you.
All right, you've been watching a live press conference from the Hall of Justice downtown with LA County Sheriffs, the U.S. Marshals, and LAPD officials sharing more details about the arrest of 21-year-old Sergio Andrew Garcia. Garcia is accused of a long list of crimes involving attacks and sexual assaults on several women in the downtown and East LA area over a span of several days in July. And Sheriff Luna called Garcia a horrible deviant who needed to be off the streets. They also shared that Garcia fled to Mexico, where U.S. Marshals were able to track him down and bring him into custody. Garcia now faces a number of criminal charges, including attempted murder, robbery, and sexual assault. His bail has been set at more than $4 million, and authorities believe there are more victims out there, and they say that they are committed to continuing this investigation, and they hope that if you have been victimized, you will come forward. And now, switching gears, and we're going to talk about our weather. It is hot outside. Alex Cheney in for Danny Romero today. Alex.
Hey there, Giovanna. That's right. Another very hot summer's day for Southern California today. Let's take a look outside. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Van Nuys right now, currently about 103